And good evening. I'm very happy to introduce Vinny Guadagnino to FitLife Magazine, Face2Face. Thank you very much, Vinny, for joining us this evening. Very happy to have you
Thanks for
here.
having me. I'm excited.
I'm excited too. I'm in my house in Vermont, and you're out in LA right now.
Yeah, I'm up in the hills, just living life.
How long have you been out in California now?
I've been out here for like 2 months. I was working for like one of those months, and I took the last couple weeks just to, just chill. And I'm from New York. We don't get this kind of weather and palm trees here, so you got to take advantage, when you have the chance.
No palm trees in New York.
No, LA
No.
is. I'm from Staten Island, and I say LA is kind of like Staten Island with palm trees, because it's still like a city. There's stuff going on, but the weather is just so much nicer. The roads are better. It's great.
Dude, I love California. I absolutely love it. And you and I have had that conversation before. I'm a big fan of SoCal, down like south of LA, down near San Diego, and all the surfing towns in between San Diego and LA. That's my favorite spot, all in there.
What's funny, me and Ronnie, who was on my show, the Jersey Shore, I was just talking to him, and he invited me to the beach, and he's like, dude, like LA, it could be a black hole. He's like, it's more than, and then he named like these two places that everybody goes to out here, like a nightclub and a restaurant. He's like, there's so much more to Southern California than that. And I'm like, I know, because I just wrapped a project I was working on. I can't really talk about it, but it involved me like going around all of Southern California and seeing all these beautiful
Awesome.
places. It's like
Awesome.
up along the PCH. Oh my God. Like that's the cool thing about living here is that you drive like an hour and a half in any direction and you're like in a cool place. In New York, you drive an hour and a half, you're in like Connecticut or like Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to drive the whole Pacific Coastal, like from north to south at all?
Not from north to south,
Yeah.
but we definitely we went from like LA area
Yeah.
to up to like
San Fran?
probably around like no, we
No.
stopped around like Santa Barbara
Oh, that's
around.
gorgeous.
Hmm.
Yeah, gorgeous. So, listen, you're what, 28 years old now?
Yep,
28. So you started the Jersey Shore when you were what, 21?
yep, 21.
21, 6 years.
Hmm.
And I gotta say, when I was doing research on your background, I have to say I'm really impressed with what you've done. And you're a really sharp guy. And since I've gotten to know you too, like you're a really, really sharp dude. And I gotta say, one of the things that impressed me the most was your book. You have a
Hmm.
book, and it's called Control the Crazy.
Yep.
Can you tell us
Thank you.
about that, please?
Thank you for the kind words. But yeah, Control the Crazy is a book that's like a self improvement book. I read a lot of self help, self improvement books. Um, when I was on throughout a couple periods of my life, I faced like pretty hard anxiety that was like happening for prolonged periods of time. Like when I went away to college, I was in a pretty bad place for like a couple months, and even when I was filming the show a couple times, this like anxiety would hit me, and I didn't know what it was. It didn't even feel like anxiety; it just felt like depression, or it felt like just very like outside of myself. Like I didn't feel like myself for like weeks or months at a time, which is really scary to all of a sudden wake up, and not feel like yourself
Was
for
that
for a
during the
while.
filming or after?
It's happened during a couple seasons. The first season it happened, they didn't really show it.
Yeah.
They showed it on, I think it was season five. That's when I opened up about it.
Yeah.
I don't know where the book came from. That's when I just, I felt like, hey, I have to talk about this because if I don't talk about it, talking about it makes me feel better.
Okay.
I can't just like keep it hidden. Um, and and yeah, but it was a familiar feeling. Like I've experienced this feeling a couple times from my life, and different things that just like that people have led me to. Certain friends had said, "Hey, pick up this book. It changed my life." Like The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle.
Okay.
And I read that book and I was like, "Oh my God!" Like for the first time, I felt like somewhat in control of the emotions.
Okay.
And then I was like, now I want to read his next book, and I read his next book, and then that led me to you know do research on the ego and being in the present moment and mindfulness and stuff. And I
Mm.
was doing that. And then I just kept reading one after another, and that made me say, hey, you know what? Like, I have this platform, and I would love to. A lot of people like write books with their platform when they're on like TV.
Yeah.
I wanted mine to be like meaningful and to be able to be different. And I said, hey, there's not a lot of people that my age that are reading self-help books or writing them. They're not, a lot of them are reading Eckhart Tolle or Deepak Chopra. So
Mm-hmm.
I kind of said, hey, this is my book about how this stuff has helped me,
Mm-hmm.
and it was definitely like probably the biggest accomplishment of my life, just being able to have people every day just like say, hey, your book helped me. Because sometimes I'm not perfect. I don't I don't say I'm all healed up or whatever. You never are, but just sharing your story with people and making them relate to it, like that's enough sometimes for them to just like feel better.
Well, not only was it an accomplishment, but I read somewhere that it was a New York Times bestseller.
Yeah, it was a New York Times bestseller,
That's
which
huge.
is yeah. I mean, that's the thanks to my amazing fans and people that came out and bought it and supported it and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And the cool thing about having a book is that it's there forever. Like we can talk about it now,
Mm-hmm.
and like people can go still get it. It's not like a TV show or something where
Yeah.
it just comes out and then it's gone and then whatever. It's like that's on the shelves forever. People can always check it out. It could have a huge resurgence, after this interview.
Yeah,
It's
you
just
never know.
always available to people.
That's awesome. And I'm guessing, did you find that not only as you were writing it, but did you find it cathartic? I mean, was it something that you ended up working through some of your own anxiety actually by writing it? I mean, because you had obviously done a lot of research prior to writing it, but I'm sure that as you were writing it, you were also learning at the same time. So, how?
Well, part of the book, one of my chapters in the book is about selflessness and giving and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And I the most selfless thing you could do is to kind of help people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So when you help people, you're getting out of your own head
Mm-hmm.
and your own anxiety and your own ego. And you can't help somebody and be anxious at the same time. It's like kind of hard to do because it's not like you're me, and what's wrong with me and all my problems. So
Yeah.
just like having that always in the back of my head of helping people would always like get me through, push me through other seasons of
Okay.
Jersey Shore, other tough things that I was doing. Like at the end of the day, like, oh my God, like you're on this planet now helping thousands of people. Like I'm just a regular kid from Staten Island a couple of years ago, and now literally helping thousands of people. So that is a way that it definitely helped me through mine.
That's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. So you also have done some other projects too. You had your own TV show for a season,
Yep. Yeah,
and
right
that
after Jersey Shore.
and what was that called? It was
That was the show with Vinny. That was when
yep.
celebrities would come to my house in
Yeah.
Staten Island.
I watched a couple episodes and I laughed my ass off.
You know what's so crazy about my show, looking back to now?
Yeah.
I had people on the show like before they were famous. And I mean, they were famous, but like before they really blew up.
Yeah.
And like, I didn't get picked up for another season, but I bet you if those same people were on my show now, it would be like, what the hell? Like Iggy Azalea,
Yeah.
you know, all these different, Scott Disick, ASAP Rocky,
Yeah.
they were on my show and they had like a couple like things out, and no one knew who they were at the
Yeah.
time. And now
So
it's like crazy.
your mom is awesome. I gotta say I love watching your mom. She reminds me a lot of my own mom,
Yeah.
and so I would love to get a meal from your mom sometime. She looks like an amazing cook.
Well, hopefully, my mom is like my little, I don't know if the word is muse, but like, I definitely like use her to tap into that other demographic. So we have some projects coming out, and
Yeah.
hopefully everybody can get a piece of my mom's food or action
Oh,
somehow.
that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
Hmm.
So, you're still doing some stand up. I know that you're into comedy. You're still doing that.
Yeah, so I used to take like throughout Jersey Shore, I was taking improv classes
Yep.
at a school called Upright Citizens Brigade. It's like Amy Poehler's school,
Hmm.
a couple other people, but yeah, improv is very therapeutic. Actually, it's amazing. It's like the best experience that I've done,
I
and
think that would be my worst nightmare. I think I would be terrified to do that.
maybe not improv. Improv, like, it's all about having a team of people
Okay.
supporting you.
Okay.
And stand up is terrifying. You're by yourself up there,
Okay.
you know.
Definitely,
So,
that would freak me out.
but I'm always up for a challenge. I always knew like I wanted to be an entertainer my whole life. So I always take the challenge. If someone says, Vinny, if my agent calls me and says you're going to host this show, and you have to do 10 minutes, like I'm going to go learn how to do 10 minutes of stand up. And I've done that. And that's what has gotten me on stage to do stand up. Um, it isn't. I'd like to do it more than I do. It's not something where I'm like. It's a tough scenario for me to be in because a lot of people have expectations. Me being on TV, they expect me to like entertain them and kill it on stage, but I'm not a seasoned comedian, so I kind of have to really pick and choose wisely what shows I do, who I do
Mhm.
them in front of. Otherwise, like I'm not gonna enjoy doing it.
Right. So
But
now, so
yeah,
you're
yeah.
so you're. I know you just finished a project. You had told me about it earlier. So you're still active. You're still doing stuff, and you're pursuing. You're what where do you see yourself going? What do you want to do?
Well, I just did a couple projects, so I'll be back on TV pretty soon, and that's good because I have a lot of fans still that follow me on my social media. So it's always good to like give them something, and everything that I'm going to give them in the next couple of months or whatever, it has like some substance behind it.
Good.
Like I just did a show called Joking Off on MTV that's going to air in August, and that's like sort of like a Whose Line Is It Anyway
Okay.
meets an At Midnight. It's a show where we like kind of improv and sketch, and we roast pictures from the internet, and we make memes and captions and stuff. And I got on that. I auditioned for that, and I got on that as a cast member, not just
Awesome.
as Vinny for one guest spot. So if I get that show and MTV trusted me to have me as an actual cast member on it, like hopefully now when I go to do other things, they'll say, hey, like he has a resume. He has something that he actually got
Right.
from being a comedian, not just being a person that was on a big show. So I definitely see myself just making a name for myself in the comedy world, in the lifestyle space. Because I also do love, I still like hosting. I still like being a reality person. I'm good at it. I'm good at reading from a teleprompter,
Hmm.
from, talking about things like we're talking about now. So
Hmm.
you got to try to find different ways to like find projects that allow you to do that. So there's a lot of them out there. I always say to myself, at the end of the day, if I'm ever upset, I'm like, all right, there's a lot of TV shows out there. There's a lot of space on the online world out
Yeah.
there. Uh, I'm like somewhere there's like a slot for me to fill,
Oh, I totally
and
see it for sure.
yeah, just
But
somewhere. I don't
you
care
know
where
where
it is.
you know where I see it though. I think
Yeah,
I see it in action, like action movies. I see you being the next Born Identity.
yeah, that would
Doing.
be yeah. That's something that like your mouth to God's ears. I take acting classes, and
Yeah.
I hopefully one of these things that I audition for I get, and but at the same time, you always want to keep that income coming and keep that
Yeah.
job going. So you want to
Absolutely.
see what else is out there in like the hosting world and stuff. So
So Fitlife Magazine is about fitness and about men being better. So we got to ask you: are you still working out? Do you have a routine? You're looking really fit. So
I'm working out and practicing fitness more than ever in my life right now.
yeah. And
Okay.
oh, I'm sorry. I was going to bring that back to the spirituality side. It must help with anxiety and just being on the road.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I've been really kind of, I mean, I guess I'll touch on this a little bit, but I recently have like researched perfectionism, and perfectionism is good and it's bad. Perfectionism, I used to think of it as just like, hey, you wanna, do well in school, you want to be the best at your job, you want to,
Yeah.
like, I'm a perfectionist. People say that, but that's how that's kind of why I go on these like swings of my body, like trying
Okay.
to, because like being a perfectionist, you don't want to miss a day,
Right.
and you don't want to miss, you don't want to mess up, and then after you have your cheat meal, you want to die because you messed up the perfect swing. But I'm learning in life like you can't always be perfect and stuff, and not everything's going to be perfect. But that's what's keeping me. That's definitely what like makes me do all this stuff. But I
Mm-hmm.
also have to learn that there's ups and downs in life, and like not everything is going to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So why did I bring that up? I brought that up because you were saying, oh, how it helps with the anxiety and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I mean, it definitely helps, but at the same time, I can't say like if I don't make it to the gym, like 'cause sometimes if I don't make it to the gym, like I feel like crap. I feel like you know what I mean. I feel like I
Oh,
messed
dude,
up.
I feel
I feel like
sluggish
mentally,
and tired if I don't go. Yeah.
yeah, and then mentally, you don't want to like you don't want to it's just like sometimes you don't want to keep going. It's like oh man, I missed 2 days. Now I
Yep.
can't keep going and stuff. So, but the days that I do go and stuff, yeah, no, it just helps get like adrenaline out when you have anxiety
Mm-hmm.
or stress. A lot of that is just like pent up. A lot of it is physical.
Mm-hmm. So what are you doing? What are you doing? Are you doing cardio and weights? Are you doing strength training, or what are you
Well,
doing for
the
yourself?
biggest thing to me was recently. It was funny. We were talking about podcasts. I listened to Adam Carolla's show, and a guy named Vinny Tortorich was always on his show, and he was talking about what he preaches is no bread, no grains, no sugar.
Yeah.
And I kind of switched my 98% of my lifestyle to no grains, no sugar,
Wow.
and but like it's awesome because it's like not like no grains, no sugar, eat grilled chicken and zucchini all day. It's
Mm-hmm.
eat bacon, have a chunk of cheese. No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
Like all that stuff. We were. I'm not a scientist, but it makes sense. But I watch a lot of documentaries how sugar is in everything and how sugar kind of is the reason why everybody's has diabetes
It's a
nowadays.
killer. It's a killer for sure.
But everything that's non-fat has double the sugar in it. So
Absolutely.
all the non-fat milk, all the non-fat, fat-free, like
Loaded with sugar.
loaded with sugar, and also like whole wheat, whole grains, whole everything.
Yeah.
Listen, once you stop eating bread, like right now, I treat bread as if it's like a cupcake. Like I want it, it's delicious, and I'll have it once in a while.
Yeah.
But like that's something I used to eat every day.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean?
Oh,
I used to
especially an
have
Italian family.
yeah. I used to
Yeah.
have cake. I used to have cake every day. Cake in the form of pasta.
So,
And
oh,
once
that's
I
true.
stopped, but I stopped doing that, and I mixed that with a lot of with like interval training, not really
Okay.
like cardio, like for like an hour. I
Yeah.
do a lot of like sprints, a lot of jump rope, a lot of just like a lot of stairmaster. Sometimes I'll do like even 10 minutes of sprints on the treadmill, and that's my cardio.
Nice.
I like things like short and sweet, Like I
Yeah.
don't like to. I like to enjoy life, but also just hit it where I need to hit it. And during the summertime, when I'm trying to like lean out a little more, I kind of only do like 3 days of weights of like
Okay.
weightlifting.
Yeah.
In the wintertime, I'll do like five, but I figured I'm not gonna do 5 days of lifting and then 5 days and like 7 days of cardio. It's
Yeah.
just too much. So I cut down the.
Is that what you guys were doing when you're on the Jersey Shore? I know you guys were hitting it pretty hard. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've been in gyms. I used to work in gyms. I was a trainer from when I was like 18 years old.
Mhm.
I used to like just do all different kinds of crap. I think my genetics were a lot. I mean, metabolism was better. I was like a lot younger and stuff. So my diet was like start eating whole wheat bread for like 2 weeks, and I was like shredded. Like,
And drinking
that-
beer, I'm sure.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, so it was fine. But now I have to really tighten it up and like again figure out like what works for me because everybody's body is different.
Definitely. Definitely. Well, you're looking good, and nothing but good things coming your way. I got two
Thank
last
you.
questions for you.
Shoot.
What would you do if it was your last week on Earth and you knew that you were gone in a week? How would you spend your
Whoa.
last week?
Wow, that's a crazy last question to get. Um, my last week, huh, man. Knowing my personality, I probably like just the God's honest truth.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't like. I wouldn't like go and enjoy it. I'd probably like be like, oh my God, I would just be worried about it. Like I'm gonna die
So
in a
you would
week.
just like sleep on the couch and watch TV
I would
and
just like sleep on the couch and like hold my dog and like and just friggin'
That's
Just be like
hilarious.
whatever, and then like probably like the day before, I'd be like, all right, come on, Vin, you got to do something, and then go eat a lot of Italian food. I'm gonna say that
That's
a
awesome.
lot of Italian food, and I'm a big family guy too, so spend it with my family.
That's awesome. Awesome. Loved having you on the face to face, and I hope to have you again here sometime. And
My pleasure.
I need to eat some of your mom's cooking. That's got to happen.
You got it.
Awesome.
Anytime you're in New York, you just come by. We're Italian. Our doors are always open. We love. I don't eat the pasta, so we need help.
Yeah, exactly. Your mom's probably not too happy about that.
Nah, she's not.
All right.
But whatever.
Thanks, Vinny. Have a wonderful
All right.
night, and good luck to you, and we'll see
Take
you
care,
soon.
Randall. All
Bye.
right. Bye.